I thought having children meant I wouldn't die alone. I was wrong, and no one tells you that. And by the time you realize you're wrong, there's nothing left to fix. I'm 88 years old, and I understand now what I should have understood at 40, at 50, even at 70, but understanding something too late is its own kind of sentence. There's a window here. I look at it most mornings, not because there's anything worth seeing, a parking lot, a tree that lost half its branches last winter. I look at it because it gives me something to face. The nurses are kind. They call me by my first name like we're old friends. I don't correct them. There's a rhythm to this place. Meals, medication. Someone checks in. Someone leaves. You get used to it. The way you get used to anything that doesn't kill you quickly. My son lives 40 minutes from here. My daughter just over an hour. I haven't seen either of them in 11 weeks. You think that couldn't happen to you? I understand. I thought the same thing. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm telling you because I need you to understand what I'm about to say before it becomes relevant to your own life. Because when it becomes relevant, it'll be too late to do anything with it. When I was young, I had a simple belief, simple enough that I never questioned it. If I built a family, I would never truly be alone. That was the deal I thought I'd made, not with God, not with the universe, just with life itself. Work hard, provide, be there when it counts, and the people you love will be there when it counts for you. I believed being a father was a kind of insurance, not in a selfish way. I want to be clear about that. I loved my children, but somewhere beneath that love, there was a quiet assumption. That love, given long enough and sincerely enough, would always find its way back. I raised 2 children. I coached Little League. I attended recitals I didn't understand. I worked jobs I resented so they wouldn't feel what I felt as a boy. I thought that counted for something permanent. I thought being a good father was enough. That word, enough. I've had a great deal of time to think about that word. No one abandons you in a single moment. That would be easier to understand. They leave you slowly, while you're still calling it love. While you're still making excuses for the shorter calls, the faster visits, the eyes that drift toward the door before the hour is even up. You keep telling yourself they're busy. Life is full right now. They'll come around. And some years pass like that, quietly, while the distance becomes the relationship. You don't see it forming. You only see it once it's already there. It didn't happen all at once. It doesn't arrive like a storm. It seeps in like water under a door. First it was the phone calls, shorter, a little more distracted on the other end. Then the visits, fewer, faster. They'd come, sit for an hour, look at their watches without looking at their watches. You learn to read people when you have nothing else to do. Some evenings I sit with my phone on the table beside me, not expecting anything, just out of habit, I suppose, from years of waiting for it to ring. My daughter stopped asking about my week around the time my grandchildren started high school. Not out of cruelty. I don't believe it was cruelty. She just moved on to her life, her problems, the way people do. My son called last Christmas. We spoke for 9 minutes. He mentioned he was busy. I said I understood. That was true. I did understand. I just didn't understand soon enough, when it still would have changed something. There was no fight, no rupture, no dramatic moment I could point to. It didn't break. It just quietly became something else, Stop assuming the distance will close on its own. I've had a lot of time to think in this room, more than I wanted, and I kept arriving at the same uncomfortable place. The distance between me and my children wasn't really about them. I spent years looking outward for an explanation at their choices, their forgetting, their lives. But eventually, when you're honest with yourself, really honest, the way you can only be when there's no one left to perform for, you start looking inward. I gave my children things, time, money, presents, but I didn't give them a version of myself they could hold on to. I mean, something deeper than that. I never let them see me struggle. I thought that was strength. I never told them what I feared, what I doubted, what kept me awake at 3 a.m. for years at a time. I handed them a father who had everything under control, and control is not the same as connection. They grew up beside a man they respected, but I'm not sure they grew up beside a man they truly knew. There is a difference between respecting someone and needing them, between admiring a person and missing them when they're gone. I built walls I thought were foundations. I confused silence for stability. I thought being needed meant being indispensable, but people don't return to what they need, they return to what they feel, and I never gave them enough of what I actually felt. If any of this sounds familiar, pay attention to that feeling. Love is not a transaction. Most people live like it is. They give and quietly expect something back, and when it doesn't come, they call it betrayal. It's not betrayal. It's reality finally showing itself. Sacrifice does not create loyalty. If it did, the most exhausted parents would be the most loved. Suffering for someone does not bind them to you. Children who watch a parent give everything don't always feel grateful. Sometimes they feel guilty, and guilt, held long enough, becomes distance. Here is something else that took me too long to understand. Your children will only remain close to you if they actually want to, not out of duty, not out of obligation, not because of everything you gave up, but because being with you gives them something, makes them feel something worth returning to. I didn't know how to do that. I knew how to provide. I didn't know how to be a place someone wanted to come back to. Those are different skills, and no one told me they were different. Or maybe someone did and I wasn't listening. I'm not asking for pity. I want to be clear about that. I made choices. I had chances to see things differently. My wife tried to tell me years before she passed. She'd say, "They need you to be human, not a hero." I thought she was asking me to be weak. She was asking me to be real. I assumed that doing right by people was the same as being close to them. I assumed being present was the same as being close. I assumed that because I was always there in body, I was always there in the way that matters. I wasn't. There are things I should have said, not important things, not grand things, just ordinary ones. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm proud of you in a way I've never found the right words for. Simple things, I held every one of them back, because I thought a father was supposed to have answers, not feelings. And now I'm 88 years old, sitting in a chair that isn't mine, in a room that isn't home, and I understand what she meant. 40 years too late, but I understand. If you're still listening, I need you to hear this part. Not because I'm trying to teach you anything, I have no right to teach anyone anything, but because I know something now that I didn't know when I still had time to use it. The people in your life, your children, your partner, whoever you love, they are not staying because of what you've done. They are staying because of who you are when you're with them. How you make them feel when the practical things are finished. When the providing is done. When the protecting is done. when it's just you and them, and there's nothing left to do. That's the moment. That's where it's either built or slowly lost. And most of us are too busy or too proud or too afraid to show up for it honestly. The loneliness I'm describing right now, it doesn't announce itself. It builds quietly over decades of small distances, and one day you look up and the room is just quiet, and you realize the people you loved most in this world never really knew who you were, and you never fully let them. You're still in a place where this can change. I'm telling you that because I no longer am. I had a full life. I just never let anyone fully see it, not even myself. And now, there's no one left to show or become. Don't wait until the room is this quiet to understand what I'm telling you.